Hey folks, this is the Nutty Knife Guy. This is a really impromptu thing today, so I didn't get out the camera and the tripod. I'm using my Viking RCA tablet, so the video might not be great, but the audio when I tested this seemed to be okay, and hopefully this will work out. I didn't intend to do a video today, so that's why this is just kind of an ad hoc thing. But I got an early Christmas present. This guy. There. And this is a Premier Edge tactical Bowie. It's a budget blade. It was a gift, so that pretty much makes it good. Something I'll treasure. And it's a budget blade. I'm a knife guy. I did a little research. I wanted to know what kind of knives I had in my collection. It runs for 20 bucks or less, and it's actually there's several different brands that make this, that put their brand on this style of knife. Cisco Supplies, I'm probably not saying that right, has one. Frost Cutlery makes one like this, or brands one like this. They're probably all made in the same place. And first impressions. I like the grip on it. It looks cool, and it actually is very solid in the hand. I really like that it has texturing and jimping for the thumb and saber grip. And it's just a cool looking knife. I am an author. I have a novel coming out with World Castle Publishing in the spring or summer. It's in editing and revision process right now, and it's a military a military science fiction. And this is something that like the futuristic soldiers in my books would carry. So, I mean, it's good that way. But the reason I really want to talk about this, and I'll do a review on this, a complete review on it later. I've only had this for a couple of hours now. And I will ask the people, the person who gave this to me, if I can test it, because it is budget and it might break, and I don't want to break their gift. So I'm going to ask them if I'm the Nutty Knife Guy. That's what I do to knives. So, and I'll just make it clear that it's not out of disrespect for their gift. It's in the name of knife science. But I'm afraid it might break. But the reason I wanted to talk about it is one of the first things, of course, that I did when I saw that the handle, that it didn't have an exposed tang, was to find out if it had a full tang, a full-length tang going all the way through the handle. And it doesn't. But this is what's weird. Okay, I put my magnet on here. Let's see, so it's not sticking to the guard. But I put my magnet on here, and I can tell that there's a tang from here to here, which isn't bad. It actually probably goes down about here, so it's a quarter to a third tang. I've had knives that were actually quite durable with that kind of a tang. But there's no tang all the way here. But the weird thing is, it has a base plate that is metal. And there's a screw here. And it appears that the tang isn't, that the base plate just isn't glued on. But it appears that there is tang here. If I use a little corner of this magnet between, right, so I'm not too close to the metal base plate or the screw, I can feel tang. Now my thing is, why would they do that? Now granted, this is a budget blade, and these budget blades are made to look good. Right. I don't think that the designers ever really thought about how this might be used. And it does look good. But my thing is this: usually when they give a short tang like that, it's to save material and therefore money. But then they added this metal base plate, which is unusual. You don't see this on knives very much. And I'm pretty sure that there is a little bit of we'll call it a secondary tang that comes up to here so they can put the screw in to hold the butt plate on. But if they were trying to save material, why didn't they just use that material for a full tang? And you would think that it would be an extra process in manufacturing to sink this in and put a screw and up the cost even more. So I'm really just wanting to ask the people out there in YouTube world, have they ever had another knife that had like a secondary tang? And why would they do that? Why would you want to do that? I would have loved to have, and I like metal base plates on knives. They're great. But I would rather have a full-length tang, and that's about as much material as you would need to make a full-length tang on this knife. So the way they constructed this is unusual, and it puzzles me a bit. Now, and if I do take this out to the war post, if the person who gave it to me is okay with that, I'm hoping that it doesn't break, because it is fun to play around with, and I really like the look. I'll probably keep this when I'm writing the next book in my Fireteam Alpha series, just for inspiration, because it's, like I said, it looks like something the soldier of 100 years from now might carry. They call it, in some places I saw on the internet, they're referring to this as a tactical Bowie knife. And it has kind of a tactical look over the classic Bowie knives, and I love classic Bowie knives. So I'm hoping to break. Now, if I do get to test it, and if it does break, it's going to break in one of two places. It is probably either going to break inside the handle at the tang, in my opinion, at the tang, right here where the tang goes into it, or at the tip. Now, if the tip happens, that has nothing to do with the construction. That just means it's a bad heat treat, because this is supposed to be 440 stainless steel, and it seems to be a little thin for a Bowie, but the steel seems to be okay. I don't know if you can see it, but if you put this up to a bright light, you can see through a little gap between the blade and the guard that the tang is about this wide. So I don't know, it's iffy. If it does break, I'll take the whole thing apart and find out how it's constructed, because I'm very curious. I am about 90% sure that there is some little bit of a tang here, because this is a pretty powerful magnet, and just a corner of it in between the metal guard and the screw, I do feel tang. But I really wonder why they would construct it that way. It doesn't do anything to strengthen the knife, and it seems to me that it would be more expensive to make it this way, other than just make it 1/3 tang and slap scales on it. So, real quick one. Like I said, this is impromptu. I would really appreciate it if you had any ideas why they would construct it that way, or if you've had a knife and have this knife and opened it up, how is it constructed? So if you know, leave me some comments. And that's about it. I will leave you with my usual admonishment: to draw your knives only in just purpose, sheathe them only with honor, and to remember that without knives, life would be dull and pointless. Oh, incidentally, by the way, this did come shaving sharp. I bought myself a lot of knives lately, more than I should have. And I have been testing them a lot, so I'm short on arm hair. But you have to take my word for it. This did come shaving sharp, which is always a plus. And that's it. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you probably fairly soon. Not testing this knife, but testing this knife. I bid you goodbye.